Welcome to my presentation of my Keylogger project. Let's dive right into the technical background, starting with some explanation. A keylogger is a tool, either software or hardware, that secretly records what a user types on a keyboard. It usually runs in the background. I chose to develop a keylogger for my project because it involves core cybersecurity concepts like ethical hacking, malware analysis, and endpoint protection. In this project, we're not really going to dive deeper into these. It also gave me insight into how malicious software interacts with operating systems. As for example, I tried to run the keylogger code on a Mac system and it wouldn't really generate the keystrokes. I had to go enable some accessibility stuff in the settings, and even with that, it still struggled to actually populate the keystrokes. Now, for security concepts, we focus on ethical hacking. This project was designed and executed in a controlled lab environment with full compliance to ethical standards. And also privilege escalation. This project was designed to showcase elevation of privileges by obtaining keystrokes to passwords from victims of a cybercrime to gain access to unauthorized systems. So we go ahead and showcase a demonstration preview. So we're going to see the keylogger code and how to set up an environment, a secure environment to run the code in a secure environment, and also view captured key logs. So for demonstration, we're going to go ahead and show the code, which is in Visual Studio Code. And here we have the module that we imported and the keylogger file that we wanted to generate at the end, and also the functions that was defined to capture the key logs. And then once we start the code, well, I just put some notes here, message to indicate that this is an ethical code that I am executing. So I'll go ahead and go into my Kali, and here we are going to set up the environment. So I actually already have a Python virtual environment installed. So all I have to do is actually create a secure environment that we're going to run the code in. So to do that, I will type Python 3 and -m, then secured environment. So the environment that we're going to run in is called secured environment. And then it would take a second, and then it will populate. Once it populates, I will go ahead and activate the secured environment. So we go ahead and type source secured environment, which is a folder, and then bin, and then activate. So I go ahead, and then now you will see I have secured environment, and then Augustine, Kali, and then all the other stuff populated. Now, if I hit ls, you'll actually see that we have the keylogger.project.py, and then the secured environment. But I also have to install the module that I need to be imported. So to do that, I'll have to pip install py input, and then it would take a few seconds and it will just install just like that. And I'm just gonna go ahead and clear up the screen. So now I will be able to run the code, which we will type Python and then keylogger project py, and then we should see keylogger is running, and then press Ctrl+C to stop. So now let's try and see if we can log into something where we'll go to this would use our browser and type in facebook.com. And then once we go on facebook.com, don't worry about these emails. They don't lead to anywhere. So we're just gonna use Himothy as a fake name. And then the password, we're just gonna type password 123, and then an exclamation sign. If you hit login, it's not really going to take you anywhere, but that's not really the purpose of this. The purpose is showcase what happens. So I'm just gonna close out of this browser, and then you are able to see that everything we typed was right here. So we're just gonna go ahead and end the uh, the code, and then as you can see, we get an error message, but don't worry about it. That'd be because like the keyboard has been interrupted. And then if we go ahead and clear this and then type ls, now we do have keylog.test, which has been generated. So now to see what was captured, even though we already know what was captured, we just cat keylog test, and then as you can see, we have facebook.com being typed, him with E, and then the password. So as a bad actor, now you already know the person went to facebook.com, and then now you'll gain access to your Facebook account and just do whatever you want to do. Okay, so now let's go back to our. So now we come back, and again, here's the keylogger code that was used, and also what was done. And also, like I was saying, if you don't have, you got to have the virtual environment installed. If you don't have it installed, this is the code right down here, which is the sudo app installed, Python 3 -vim, and then with the flag option Y. Okay, so now you have the pip install, p1 input installed, the Facebook, and then also the capture. Now you can view the key logs, and then as you can see here, we have facebook.com, Himothy, and the password 123. So impact summary, we have, while this project did not simulate a silent keylogger, a silent keylogger can capture credentials, login credentials, and sensitive data, enabling attackers to steal accounts or financial access. Keystroke login can be used to spy on users, track browsing, and extract private data, violating privacy and consent. And three, another technique not showcased in this project will be attackers sending keylog code in the form of a link, which, when clicked on by unsuspecting victims, login links lets attackers profile user behavior and systems aiding phishing, social engineering, and privilege escalation. For mitigation, we have using antivirus and anti-malware software, regularly scan or remove keyloggers using reputable security tools, keep systems updated, apply OS and software patches to fix vulnerabilities that keyloggers exploit, and also use um, on-screen keyboards for sensitive input, which will prevent keystroke capture by typing passwords with virtual keyboards, and monitor for unusual behavior. Watch for strange log files, high CPU use, or unknown background processes. And that will be all. Thank you very much. Please do not use the code shown in this presentation unethically or further develop it as a background keylogger, a silent one. Thank you.